Hi, everyone. It is so good to have all of you on today. We had about 40 people register for this info session. So for those who aren't able to come, we are recording this. So if you have questions, please feel free to ask them. Ian will get them answered for you. And but we will be sharing this recording with everyone, even if you are here, in case you want to rewatch it and you want to better learn about what's going to be happening on the Tuscany trip. But without further ado, I'll hand it over to Ian. He's the one who knows everything about what's going on. We're so excited to be working with Aventura World again, especially as the world comes back to a little bit of normalcy. So Ian, I will hand it over to you. And if everyone wants to follow along, in the email that I sent to you was the program for the entire trip. So he will be going over that with us. Feel free to ask any questions you have. And I am very excited to travel to Italy with all of you. I've been there before. I wasn't able to go to Greece last year, but we did go and a great group went. So very much looking forward to traveling with all of you this year.
Well, thank you very much, Rachel, for having me here today. Thank you all for joining us. Over the years, the Greater Reading Chamber has done such a wonderful job creating international awareness programs all over the world for chamber members and members of the local community. And in 2022, it will be no different. Tuscany is a wonderful destination full of intrigue, adventure, great food, great wines, a warm and inviting, friendly people, and history spanning centuries upon centuries. You'll be walking along cobbled streets that Roman emperors, foreign Roman legions, and early Christian settlers had wandered upon, and there you are, taking the same steps that they did centuries and centuries ago. So in a moment, with the aid of slides, we're going to bring you to Italy and to Tuscany for a brief period tonight. And I bring it as a brief period because we could still be discussing this destination tomorrow. So we've got about 100 slides. We'll discuss the program briefly. At the end of the webinar, I will open up to questions. Now, I noticed we got about 24 people when I started to speak on the webinar. So that could be as many as close to 50 people that are interested in this trip. If I could ask a favor, if you could hold your questions to the end, as we're all going through this presentation, you could use the chat feature. You can find the chat feature by putting your mouse to the top of the screen, and then a black toolbar will drop down. And that black toolbar in the middle, there's a voice icon that says chat. You can click on that chat and you can type away all your questions as you're going through, so you don't forget them. And I promise, at the end of this presentation, I will not avoid a question, whether it's via chat or whether it's verbally given to us when I unmute everybody at the end, to the best of my knowledge. If I can't answer it, then I'll do my best to come back and give you an answer through Rachel on this particular program. So again, Tuscany, the International Awareness Program for 2022, and yet another great chamber program, and congratulations to Rachel for a great job in bringing out such a great destination at a great time. So without further ado, let's discuss a little bit about, well, before we get to Tuscany, let's discuss a little bit about who we are, Aventura World, just in case you haven't traveled with us on one of our previous trips and partnerships with the Chamber. So we have been in business since 1972. And in actual fact, that makes 50 years. It's our 50th anniversary this year. My goodness, how time flies. I haven't been with them from the beginning. I just need you to know that. We are a member of Sakara International Travel Group with thousands of employees worldwide. Sakara, they own riverboats, hotels, restaurants, and other travel-related entities. And through Sakara, we have offices all over the world on both sides of the United States, as well as Paris, Rome, Delhi, Cairo, and London. And we are dedicated to bringing forth the treasures of the world to you through our Aventura World programs. Now, there are many treasures on this program, and it's more than just the treasures that anybody can see. Anybody can go see the Leaning Tower of Pisa, the Duomo in Florence, the vineyards in the Chianti regions, but it's all also about what we call our cultural discovery series, meeting locals, meeting local Italian people, learning a little bit about their life, maybe a little bit about their business. And we have a few of those on this. We'll be learning about the mosaic works, which dates back centuries. It hasn't changed in the way that mosaics are in those spectacular cathedrals and churches on the floor. We'll be learning how that's done, seeing carving of precious stones into painting, into pictures or into mosaics for the floor. We'll be heading into the Chianti region and visiting a family-run vineyard, meeting the owners, learning how they make their wine and how they make their balsamic vinegar, which is even more expensive than the wines, just because of the amount of wine grapes that go into the production of them, but finding out a little bit about their life. Also, we've got a whole host of wonderful other things on this program for you, which is waiting for you, such as leather production. Italy's known for its soft leather, and will be a part of our cultural discovery series, going to a leather merchant and learning about leather, purses, jackets, briefcases, the most comfortable and softest gloves in the world. I've got a pair of them and I can vouch for them. All I do all day is just stroke my chin, stroke my face with them. They're so soft. But that's what travel is all about. Travel is an education. Travel is a privilege, and I may be biased, but I believe everybody in the world should travel and experience the world and the adventures, in this case, from within Italy. We are the official travel provider of Aventura World of the Association of Chamber of Commerce Executives, which is a chamber advocacy group which the Greater Reading Chamber is a member of. We follow their standards of quality and codes of ethics, and we are truly proud to be that official travel provider. Now, we are a wholesaler of travel. So as a wholesaler of travel, we contract directly with the airlines, hotels, restaurants, bars, guides, buses, and all venues along the way. By doing that, we control all aspects. We tend to every single dollar, and we believe it shows in our pricing, as we don't have middlemen. Now, we're a company that has changed with the times. Over the last couple of years, I believe we've all changed in multiple ways, personally and professionally. And as we go through this presentation, we'll go through how we have changed. Lastly, we class ourselves as the leader in first class 4-star programs in the United States. And when we discuss all the included features of this program, I certainly hope you'll agree with that. Now, off we go to Italy. And it's the region of Tuscany, those rolling hillsides, cypress tree, vineyards spanning into the horizon, the home of Renaissance, home of warring families of Siena, Florence, Pisa, Lucca, all these families, and the history abounds. Now, November the 1st through to the 9th, it's one of our premium dates to be heading out. It's a great time to be heading into Italy. There aren't a whole host of lines. We can get airline seats easily. We can get quality hotels, and you're not swamped with the hordes and hordes of people standing in line to climb the Leaning Tower of Pisa or to enter into the baptistry and such things as that. It's a premium time. Most of our travelers do not wish to sunbathe, swim in the ocean. Our travelers look for adventure through travel, and this is a great time to experience adventure through travel in Italy. Now, before we talk anything else about the trip, for those people who've been on some of our programs before, maybe a Greece program last time, you'll know that this is very similar to that. It's our cruise philosophy on land series. What does that mean? It means that we head overseas to a location and unpack your suitcase, take the creases out of your clothes and relax. Very similar to you would if you flew down to Miami and got on a cruise ship, or New York and got on a cruise ship. So you unpack your suitcase, take your creases out of clothes and yes, really relax. Infiltrate into the local Italian area. We are in a place called Montecatini Terme for 7 nights. Now, what's a little bit different than the cruises, hopefully our hotel doesn't move in the evening, but we move in the day. So one day we go eastbound, next day north, south, east, and maybe west again, and experience different cultures, different traditions, different sites, but always coming back to the same hotel again. By doing that, there's no constant packing and unpacking. You don't need a vacation after you come off of a vacation because you're always in the same hotel that night, no constant packing and unpacking. So November the 1st through to the 9th. It's difficult to say what weather would be as we're in Europe. We can get every season, any day of the year in Europe, but historically, it's in the high 50s to mid 60s in the day, dropping down to mid 40s, low 50s in the evening, something like that. No ski jackets are required, just comfortable touring clothing. So off we go. Let's get out there and experience Italy. What this program is going to bring is, of course, architecture and world famous sites seen nowhere else. You've got the rolling landscapes and spectacular countrysides of the Tuscany region and the Chianti grape growing regions, one of the greatest regions of wines in the world. Great food. I think everybody knows what good food Italian cuisine is. And a warm and inviting, friendly people, all wrapped up in history and traditions and spectacular architecture. Day one, we'll find ourselves, we'll be leaving Reading by motor coach to New York. Okay, I'll talk more about that in a moment, but it seems that was missed off of our brochure, and I apologize for that. I want to come out immediately and let you know that bus is provided from Reading over to New York, where we'll be taking an overnight flight from New York into Italy. And here's where we are. So we'll be into Florence. We'll most probably land at either Florence or Pisa airports. And then here's the area that we'll be traveling around. So all the spectacular regions that we'll be doing here. Welcome to Italy, day 2. And we'll be met by our modern air-conditioned motor coach, our tour directors, and we'll drive to Montecatini. Montecatini is a Roman spa town. Spa, health. Back then, there was health and rest and recuperation resort areas, and Montecatini was one of them. Now, all hotels have a spa in the hotel, usually in the basement with Montecatini healing waters. I try not to. If you wish to, you could try it. But I would sort of say maybe not, because it's more of a diuretic than anything else. But here we are inside the ancient spa itself, which is just a hop, skip, and a jump from our hotel. Historically, we stay at the Tamarici Hotel, just on the just a hop, skip, and a jump from the main square itself. And here we are from Montecatini Alto, looking down at Montecatini below. And here we are in the main square and the main shopping area of Montecatini. It's a working, living town. And it has great location that we can see Florence, Pisa, Cinque Terre, the Chianti regions on easily accessible from this particular location. And it's our home for the next 7 nights. Straight down that street right there, you come to the main square, there's restaurants, bars, some of the best chocolatiers I've had, tasted, pizzerias, osterias, supermarkets and everything, ATMs, banks and everything. Just a 5-minute walk from our hotel. First night's a night to relax, take it easy, maybe head into one of those bars in the main square, relax, infiltrate into the local Italian and Tuscan countryside and philosophy. And the next day we'll find ourselves on our Florence tour, home of the Renaissance. And we're looking at the Duomo, which for centuries was the largest freestanding dome in the world. And it is a spectacular piece of architecture and engineering. And you can see here all the carvings, the statues, and the intricate nature of this. And we'll see this on our city tour itself. We'll be, and again, take a look at all the mosaics throughout here and all the stone that's cut. We'll learn a little bit more about this in a moment, but the statues are unabound. They're everywhere. History is everywhere. Bakeries, that some of the best pastries I've tasted are just off the main square here in Florence itself. We'll go to the main vantage point. We'll look down across the river and Ponte Vecchia back into the town itself. Maybe you remember the old movies with Sophia Loren and maybe Tony Curtis looking across here, usually a red sports car involved in it. Many movie sets have started here. And here's the spectacular nature of Florence. It's handmade terracotta tiled roofs. It's tall towers, which is synonymous in the area. The river and the bridge, Ponte Vecchia, which we're looking at here, which is actually a shopping bridge. Shops and restaurants and bars are all on that bridge itself. We'll see Plaza de Senora with its coffee bars, history, and the main keep in the middle, which we're looking at the Palace of Vecchio, the main keep. Now take a look here. This is as it is today. But as you go back in the 1400s, and I'll flick back to the old one, look at the statues. They're still there in the said same place, just a different time on the clock, but the buildings all around are the same. You're going back into time. You're turning the clock back centuries with an expert guide and tour director who's forgotten more about this destination than we will ever know. You have a private introduction into Florence and the Italian way. And here's a shot just outside Ponte Vecchia. Now, afterwards, part of our cultural discovery series, you remember I was talking about how semi-precious, and in some cases, some precious stones are cut for mosaic works. It's with a bow and a diamond-studded steel wire, and they cut through the stone and make intricately carved pieces that butt together perfectly fine. And here's some of their work. Take a look here at the picture that is being duplicated in stone down below. Here's a what you may think is a painting, but it isn't. That is stone inlaid. It's a mosaic. And this is something that you'll be in awe of, because it is unbelievable. The time that goes into this, first is one, but the end result is spectacular. The emphasis is on education and learning how this is done. But if anybody is interested, there are pieces that you can buy at the end of it. Time to wander, maybe relax, take it easy, head down the back streets of Florence and such. Now, the next day we'll have Pisa, sorry, Lucca. And we'll be going to two of the main family powers in the area that fought against each other for years and years and years. And we're looking at the Leaning Tower of Pisa. And this is a spectacular opportunity, and especially in this time of year, because if you wish to, you can gain easy access and tickets to the top of the Leaning Tower. You can gain tickets, and I highly recommend going up there if you can, because as you go around the tower itself, as you walk the spiral staircase, you can feel the lean as you wander, because you want to try and right yourself to walk straight, but it's impossible. But we'll see the Leaning Tower. We'll head into the baptistry, which has spectacular acoustics. And through the main doors, look at the ornate brass doors. These doors are second to none. All the, we will have seen the day before, all the intricate and how the mosaics were made. And now you're going to see a lot of the mosaics. There's even a chance to try and push the Leaning Tower back upright if you're interested to. Here we are from the top of the tower itself. Now we'll continue on to Lucca, my favorite place in all Italy. It was an unravaged location. It was never ransacked. It has a huge wall all the way around it. And when you see the size of the wall, you'll see why it was never ransacked or invaded. But Lucca, we pick up a private guide here in Lucca. I apologize, we pick up a private guide also, in addition to our tour director for Pisa too. And here's the wall. We'll start just at the side of the wall. We'll continue on through the main gates. All our guides have what's called whisper systems. So we'll have a whisper system here, which is the headphones, and something a little bit like a small Walkman. And that our guides will speak into a microphone, and you'll be able to hear the commentary without them having to shout. You might be doing a spotter's shopping. You might be grabbing a cup of coffee, a slice of cake. They have a fabulous fruit cake here in Lucca, which I highly recommend you grab a slice of. It's not the dietary version though. But all that, you can listen to commentary while you're doing some other things too. But we'll be heading in, and there we're in the home of Puccini, the famous musician, and the school that has his name, we'll see. We'll continue on through the narrow streets. You'll find, again, those typical Tuscan towers ending up in the main square. Anybody interested? There are a couple of towers that you can climb to the top of. We don't recommend it. But because they weren't built for tourism, they're not Americanified. But I've tried it a couple of times. I can't get to the top. It's too steep for me, and I'm a little scared of heights, shall I say? But I wish one day I could get to the top to see this view. Time to relax here in Lucca. Maybe grab a slice of pizza, a cup of cappuccino, relax, take it easy, wander the side streets, and then we'll come back that evening, back to Montecatini, relax. Next door is San Gimignano and Chianti. San Gimignano is known as the Manhattan of Italy. So we're in the heart of the the Chianti growing area now. But as you can see here, you can see why it's known as the Manhattan of Italy. At its height, there was approximately 54 towers. There's 10 left in today's day and age. Again, you can go to the top of this one right here if you're interested. It's not included on the tour, but you can do so if you wish to. But the emphasis is to see the location, to drink in the history, to touch the stones, and to have an expert tour director and guide with you to take you through this location. And here we are heading down the main street to the main square, and here's looking from the tower above across the Tuscan landscape. Here we are in the town itself, some time to relax, take it easy, do a little bit of shopping for some San Gimignano pottery, maybe, some local wines or vinegars, and then we will continue on. And yeah, why not head into one of the local delicatessens? You may remember such things as this. Way back when in the United States with meats. It still exists in New York City, but to see the different meats, different cheeses, all the cured hams hung from the ceiling. It's yeah, again, we're going back in time. And here we've got some of those typical potteries from San Gimignano. We'll then continue into one of the most famous wine growing regions in the world, and into Chianti, where we'll be meeting with we're going to a locally family run winery. We'll be learning of the Chianti wine and the grapes and the fermentation process that takes us from the beginning all the way to the end product, and we'll sample some of the end product on the trip itself. A little bit of wine tasting, some cured meats and such things as that historically is what we have today. Continuing back through that spectacular rolling countryside, back to Montecatini. Now, next tour, there's a few tours included in on the price of this trip. Again, one of the great values of this trip. We're heading to Siena. Siena is one of the only towns, or very few towns, that was not affected by the Second World War and any disturbance or damage. So you'll find it's an untouched medieval city. All the way from the buildings, the bottom floors where the stables were, where the horses were kept, where you'll find throughout the city rings for the horses to be tied up upon. We have a slight walk. It's a steady walk on cobble streets, but our bus is not allowed into the main city itself, but it's about a 20-25 minute steady walk as we go along the process of seeing and having a guided tour heading up at the Duomo and the main center in here. So we're going back in time. So if you can take a look as it was again in the 1400s, and take a look at the tower right here. Look at the dome. And then you can then now take it and take a look at how it hasn't changed in all those years. Here we are in the center on that part of our walking tour to get to the main area. This is the walking terrain we have. Eventually we'll arrive to the main square for those people who are interested. We have some free time here, but you may have seen this on many National Geographics. This is where the horse race is performed, and it's run around here. The windows you can see all around the main square itself are sold for hundreds, and if not in some cases thousands of dollars for this event of the horse race. They put a sand down on the cobblestones, and the horses race around, and the jockeys race on bareback horses. It's quite a white knuckle ride. James Bond fans might have seen it. James Bond was chasing a villain through the crowds of the horse race. And here's the spectacular views from the tower. And here's the part of the pageantry of the horse race. We'll learn about it. We'll learn about the history of it whilst here in the town itself. And you can see all these are sold as spectator stands. We'll finally end up at the Duomo, which is second to none. It's one of the most spectacular architectural masterpieces in all Italy. It's just, we've forgotten how to do such a building such as this. We have entrance into the Duomo itself, and we'll be able to really experience a spectacular time. Now, whilst we're here on the trip, our philosophy is to bring forth a trip of great value, flights, transportation to get you there, first-class hotels, as many meals as possible, as many tours as possible, and somebody to look after you. Now, we always like to have on our programs a bit of freedom for the individual traveler, or more independent traveler who wants to just disappear off or do nothing at all. You can do that, which we've got a day or two. But for the person who wants to be on the go every minute of the day, we've got an optional tour. And this optional tour is to Cinque Terre. Cinque Terre is the 5 fishing villages. As we go westbound out of Montecatini, we'll head to the ocean, and here we are. These are spectacular fishing villages. Some of them are only accessible by boat. Some are accessible by train. And we'll be visiting 3 of the 5 villages. It's never really sure which ones we're going to be visiting, but we'll be visiting 3 of them. But they're known for their painted buildings. Spectacular, multicolored, brightly colored buildings. The views across the oceans, the architecture, the cobbled streets, the port areas too. It's a mixture of bus, minibus, and train, excuse me, and boat this tour today. And it depends on weather and on sea conditions to which villages we can go to. But no matter which, you'll be in awe of the architecture and the beauty. And this could well be a photograph that you will find on your Christmas card for 2022. Now, if you don't wish to take that day tour, you can relax, take it easy in Montecatini. Maybe head up to Montecatini Alto, do a spot of shopping in the main square. And here we've got Montecatini Alto. Montecatini Alto is alto, meaning high. It overlooks Montecatini Terme itself. There's a funicular railway that takes you up to the village. There's a couple of little restaurants. There's a great view, and that's about it. But it's a great thing to do, maybe even on a free evening. Head up to one of the tavernas or bars up there and just take it easy. Whether it's an Uber or whether it's the funicular, head up there and see something a little bit different. Maybe head into the local delicatessens and just see all the hams and the markets. Do your last minute shopping, and on that free day, Italy's known for its handbags and its shoes and its leather coats and such things as that. Or just relax, take it easy. Drink in the local community and the local Italian countryside. I don't mean drink the wine if you can. I highly recommend it, but just relax, take it easy, and realize that you're no longer at home. And what a great experience you're having with the freedom of travel. Visit, look at some of the small cars. Here's a Fiat 500, one of the original ones. You can just usually get 2 people in there, but it's a 4-seater. But before we know it, on day 9, we'll be heading back to the US for our flight back to New York and bus back to Reading with spectacular adventures in the Tuscan countryside, after visiting a warm and inviting, soccer mad friendly Italian people. History, experience and touching and feeling history and the architecture that's gone for centuries, and a land long gone. Italy hasn't changed in some aspects for a long time. We certainly hope you'll join us on a great chamber trip in 2022. And welcome to the family of Aventura World. When you travel with us, you're safe and secure in our hands, as our guests have been since 1972, 50 years ago. Now, this is what you'll get for the price of the program. Now, I apologize, as I mentioned earlier, for some reason, the brochure does not mention bus from Reading, but it is included in the program, and we're going to race away and get that changed and get it out to you. But it doesn't make a difference if you want to sign up. You get it anyhow, as it's part of the program. But bus from Reading over to New York. We've got round trip air from New York. We've got first class hotel accommodations for 7 nights. We've got 10 meals, which equates to 7 breakfasts and 3 dinners. We've got all your tours except one. We've got full day Florence tour, full day Pisa and Lucca tour. We've got Leaning Tower of Pisa, Duomo Baptistry. We've got full day tour of Siena, San Gimignano in the Chianti region, including wine tasting. We have one optional tour, which is the Cinque Terre tour. We've got our cultural discovery series, which we've got artisans, the stone carving. We've got wine tasting, and we've got leather production. We've also got a tour director from arrival in Italy all the way through to the departing Italy. We've got deluxe air-conditioned motor coaches for all transfers and tours, and we've got baggage handling for one piece of luggage to go underneath the aircraft. $29.99 per person for all that, including bus from Reading, air from New York, all your tours, and 10 meals and 7 nights in first-class hotels. Truly, I'm hopeful now that you believe me when I say we class ourselves as the leader in value-priced first-class programs in the United States. If you'd like to go as a single and single occupancy, you add $6.99 to that price. For $6.99, you can watch whatever you want to on the TV without an argument. Your fuel surcharges are included in that price, but Italian hotel taxes, city taxes are additional at $150 per person on this program. You'll be billed for those at final payment. All taxes and charges are subject to change, but are correct at the time of print. Now, the bus from Reading is with a minimum of 20 people, but with the amount of people on this call today and the history, what we have assisted with Reading in the past, that will not be an issue. Now, this particular price is an early bird discount price. As long as you sign up by April the 15th, the price is $29.99. After April the 15th, it goes up by $100 to $30.99. I always say it's better to be in your pocket than in our pocket. So do sign up and save $100 before April the 15th. But please do not think that that is a date that, hey, I can just wait until the 15th. No, I strongly encourage you that if you know you want to go, then please do sign up sooner than later to avoid disappointment. And the disappointment is that this trip will sell out. There is more than just the Greater Reading Chamber on this trip. Right now, we're looking for one bus, but we have other chambers from across the country on the program too. And as soon as we have one bus filled, then we need 10 to 15 people before the second bus is open. So we have a wait list. If you know you want to go, get yourself on the trip sooner than later. Now, about 75% of our traveling guests say, I'm already there. I'd like to stay a little bit longer. So we have a 2-night extension to Rome on this program from the 9th through to the 11th. And that equates to 2 nights first-class hotel accommodations, breakfast daily. We got a city tour of Rome, including entrance to the Colosseum, professional tour director. As long as you haven't upset them, they'll go along with you. But we've got deluxe air-conditioned motor coach, and we've got hotels in and out of the baggage handling in and out of the hotels and to the airport too. Now, $699 per person double occupancy, or $998 single price for this extension. And what we'll do, we'll head from Tuscany and arrive to Rome, the eternal city, a city that, yes, truly never sleeps. And we'll see the Colosseum. We'll not only see the Colosseum, we'll head into the Colosseum. The Colosseum where gladiators, where musical concerts were performed, where various functions were performed. And today's day and age, you'll be able to see from the viewing platform into the areas underneath the wooden floorboards of the Colosseum that was there during the performances, down into where the slaves and lions and other wild animals were kept. We'll see the Trevi Fountain. You can throw a coin in there and wish to come back again. The Forum area, all sorts of spectacular things. We'll head to see the Vatican shortly on a bus tour home of the Pope. Now, we're staying here for 2 nights. You get the opportunity of seeing the Swiss Guard and such things as that, and the beauty of one of the smallest cities in the world. And whilst here, there's an optional tour into the Sistine Chapel and into the Vatican itself. Here we are in the Sistine Chapel. The Sistine Chapel is a work of art. We could spend weeks and weeks going through the Vatican museums. The emphasis is to see the Sistine Chapel. It's been renovated, I used to say recently, but I think it's about 6 years ago now. And there's a difference between the ceiling, and they've left areas on the walls which were unrenovated. And it's just like a little dark shade. It's fabulous to see how dirty the walls had become over centuries, and what a great job they've done cleaning the murals, the paintings, the structures as you go. And you can just see, it's really difficult, but you can just see one of them here. It's a little dark, and one just here a little dark, but everything else is vibrant and spectacular. And just that the time that this must have taken to make is just spectacular. Before we know it, we'll have spent 2 nights in Rome. Day 11, we'll be flying back to the United States and heading back to Reading with memories of the Tuscan countryside. Spectacular, warm and inviting, friendly people, and a great trip with the chamber to Tuscany. Now, visas are not required for US passport holders. You just need 2 blank pages and 6 months left on your passport to qualify to get into Europe. Now, how do we sign up? I'm going to be relatively quick on how we sign up. I like to keep these meetings whenever humanly possible to just over, including an hour, including questions, to just round about just over an hour. But here we've got how to sign up. There's 2 ways to sign up. One, using the paper registration form. It's really easy. If you use the paper registration form, take a look on the front cover of it. You'll find Rachel's telephone number, her email address. She is your point of contact for questions and such things as that on the program itself. So Rachel's information is there. And if you're doing your reservation by paper, then you're going to get your registration form to Rachel at the chamber. But it's easy. Your name as it appears in your passport. First name, middle name, if there is one, last name, so on, date of birth. If you don't have a passport, then do not wait for your passport to come back. Sign up for the trip with whatever document you're using, or if it's a birth certificate, whatever that birth certificate name is, drop it in there, because that's how it's going to come back. If it doesn't come back that way, just let us know. but then you've got your address, email address, home phone number, cell phone number, and such. If you are filling out by paper, please use your Sunday best handwriting or block capitals, please, because our reservation agents need to take this and put it into our system. And if you have handwriting like what I have, it's difficult. Then we get into the room. If you're a single, tick the single box. If you're a twin or a double, tick that box, and then circle either twin or doubles. The hotels we use do not have king size beds, queen size beds. They are doubles or twins, and indicate who you're sharing the room with. So in all aspects, we need one registration form per person, please. So John and Alice Smith sign up. John fills one out, indicates Alice who he's traveling with, and then Alice is going to fill one out and indicates here that she's traveling with John. So we can cross-reference who's who. Then we've got a section in here for notes. Notes is anything you need us to know about you as a traveler, please drop it in there. Dietary needs, you're traveling with family or friends, you'd like to have rooms close to each other. I'm traveling with the Smiths, please, could you get me a room close to them, and have the Smiths do the same with your last name on their registration form. Then we get into, we don't give you a lot of space. If you need an extra sheet, drop an extra sheet in there. Then we get into the optional tours. If you'd like the optional tours, it's required at the time of initial reservation. Yes, I do want them. No, I don't. We have a worksheet. You'll know in a moment, we'll go through the worksheet in a moment, but indicate in the total box per person, how many options, what's the optional cost that you've selected here. Then we've got the optional room. Yes or no, single or double. Indicate the amount in there per person. Now we have calculate the trip cost. And this is really important for the fact of, first of all, you know how much the trip costs. Secondary, it's for insurance reasons. So here you've got optional tour costs. So the figure that comes out here, drop it in here. If you're a single, $6.99, drop it in here. If there's an Rome extension, if you're taking the Rome extension, drop in the cost here. If all you want to do is go on the trip, then you don't need to fill anything out here. But if you've got other options in here, drop them in, total them up. And then that total comes down here to the insurance. So based on the program price right now, without any, with the optional tours and such things as that, it would be for the insurance, $221. Now we have cancel for any reason insurance, and I'm going to talk about that now, as it's very, very important. The insurance, I always say, if you've listened to one of my presentations in the past, I hope you all take out insurance. I hope you all waste your money on it. You're not going to Italy to see if what's the experience with insurance? How was it? Oh, was it? Yeah. No, you're going for fun, camaraderie, adventure through travel. But the time you don't take it out is historically the time you need it. Whenever I go overseas, I've seen it. I've seen what happens. I always take it. So it covers cancellation on the trip due to illness or death of you or an immediate family member. It covers medical on the trip. It covers trip interruption, travel delays, misconnections, medical evacuation, lost baggage or personal effects, and baggage delays. Now, that's standard insurance. Having said that, we also now have cancel for any reason insurance. As it states, cancel for any reason. Cancel for any reason covers everything on the left-hand side, which is the travel insurance, but it gives you the ability to cancel for whatever reason you wish. The dog ran away. The cat's going to miss me while I'm in Italy. I can't put the cat through it. I got too busy at work. Whatever reason, that's a cancel for any reason. But to gain cancel for any reason insurance, you must buy the policy with your initial reservation or no later than 24 hours after the initial reservation. We'll go through more of that in a moment, but now the insurance itself, insurance is insurance. Cancel for any reason is the same, as I mentioned, as the standard policy. But the insurance company, if you cancel for any reason, they will give you 65% of the penalty amount back in a check. However, we thought that was a good start. But as a company, we value you, we value the chamber, we value Rachel. We wanted to make it a better offer. So instead of just that 65 and holding it there, we wish to give you 35% of the penalty amount back in future travel credits. So in all aspects, you are financially taken care of 100% with a combination of refund from the insurance and future travel credits from Aventura World. If it be a medical reason, touch wood, it doesn't happen. If it be a death, touch wood twice that it doesn't happen. You will gain 100% of your money back. But if it's just cancelled for any reason, this is when this second section falls in. So as we look at it right now, so here's the price of the insurance right here. So standard, the policy is the standard one, $221. $331 for cancel for any reason. And it's based on the price of the trip. And it goes up in tiers from there, okay? Yes or no? Again, we hope you all waste your money on that insurance. I look at it as the fact we all have to have medical insurance here. Until we need medical insurance, we probably waste our money on it. We're always trying to figure out, is my deductible too high, too low? Can I save money here? We really waste money on medical insurance until we need it. Car insurance, we have to have car insurance. We waste our money on car insurance until we need it, and they become valuable when we do. The same with medical and with travel insurance and cancel for any reason. Okay. The next section I want to discuss, there it is. Now we've got calculate the trip cost. Please, if you're paying by credit card or check, this is an important section. So it is $600 per person to reserve your space. We only need one form with payment information involved in it. You don't have to, if a husband and wife are traveling together, you don't need to split the payment between both of you. You can now drop in here 2 people's worth of deposit. So it could be $600 or it could be $1,200 per couple, plus any optional tours, the number that comes from here. Drop it in that first line. If you're going to Rome on the extension, it's either $699 times 2 or $998 that drops in there. If you're not, nothing goes in there. The insurance, the amount for the insurance, either standard insurance or cancel for any reason goes in there. Total the 3 up, and that's the amount that's due at the time of initial reservation. Final payment is due August the 3rd. That figure goes down to this section here that says I authorize. Now, importantly, why? Because we know as soon as you give us this figure, we will then send you, and we gain your reservation form, we will then send an email to you with a link for whatever that figure is there. It could be $1,356.55. We'll send you a link for that, and it goes directly to our merchant account, and in a secure place, you can just put your credit card details in there, and it's a very secure way to do it. It's the new security protections that's been brought out by credit card companies that don't allow us to put, as we have done for many years, a box here for your credit card details. So it's for your own protection. Another way that we've been able to try our best to change is our terms and conditions. We cannot see where the world's going to. We don't know, it's beyond my pay grade, what's going to happen tomorrow or in 6 months. But we can try our best to protect and try and give you the opportunity to put an X on the calendar that you're going to Italy. From the day that you reserve your spot all the way up to 131 days before we go, you have a money back guarantee that your deposit, the optional tours, the optional extension will all come back to you 100%, no questions asked. All you'll have to do is send an email through to Rachel and she will get over to us and we will initiate the refund process for everything on the trip itself. However, insurance is non-refundable, whether it's the standard policy or cancel for any reason. So I ask you, again, I'm going to say, I highly recommend you take out insurance, whether it's the standard policy or cancel for any reason, but it is non-refundable. Walk into it as though you're wasting your money on the insurance, and I certainly hope you'll never need it. But I in the last 5 years, I apologize, in the last 10 years, I have taken 60 trips overseas. I take insurance every time. I've used it twice. So in all aspects, I've wasted my money 58 times. But I wouldn't change it because I've seen what happens when people need insurance. Once we've done that, the name in there, the amount in there, sign it, date it, get it over to Rachel, and off we go. I'm nearly finished and I won't be much longer. I apologize. Now, for those people who've traveled with us in the past, you may have already used our online booking engine. Our online booking engine is at www.aventurworld.com/booking. You'll drop in there the booking code, which is underneath Rachel's name on the front of the brochure on the top of the registration form. If you've already got an account with us, you did it last year in Greece, then drop in your email, your password, put the code in, and you'll be able to sign up straight away. If you haven't, then you have to first create a new user. So one of you, I'm going to say me, I'm going to create my family account, my name, last name, my email address, create a password, and there's a passcode underneath that you'll put in there and press submit. As soon as you do that, then this comes up. Thank you for your registration. You should receive an email shortly to activate your account. Now, this is a computer talking to you. It's not a live person. It didn't go for lunch. It didn't go to the bathroom. It didn't go home early. So as soon as it says that, it means it. So this will appear to your email. If it doesn't appear in 20 seconds, it's gone into your spam. Because emails sometimes come to you and go into your spam. If it hasn't come, check your spam. If it's not there, the only other reason is you may have spelt your email incorrectly. Make sure you do spell your email correctly when you're putting it in there. 99% of the time, it's in spam. Click this button, and then off you go. It then comes up to log in, to activate your account, and you'll put in your email address, your password, and here's a code underneath that you'll put in there. Boom, and it comes here. Now, before you can book, there's a couple of things. Me as the account holder, I have to, my account profile, I have to do first. I have to put my passport information in here, and I have to put additional traveler information. You do it once only. Once it's in, it's done. You don't have to do it until your passport's changed or until you move addresses. So my information, my name, full name, date of birth, my address, telephone, email, and such things as that. Save, move on to passport information. My passport information in there, save, move on. Then we get into additional traveler. So I'm going to put my wife in there. I'm going to put my 2 kids in there. Even if they're traveling or not, they might not be going to Tuscany with us. I'm just going to do it for the heck of it. Their names, dates of birth, their passport numbers and such, save, move on. Now it's active and now you're ready to book. You can press book and it will then come forth to here. Now, I apologize. This is a sample. It's for Spain and Portugal, but it's virtually the same thing. It'll have a picture of Tuscany here and you're in passenger information. All your passengers are already in your profile. So I'm going, my wife's going, and one of my kids is going. 3 of us are going. So it's going to say to us, wait a minute, 3, I'm going to tick, tick, tick. And it's going to say, wait a minute, 3 people. Is 2 people in a double room or a twin room? Is 1 person in a single room? And who is who? So you have to tick who's in the single, who's in the double. Save, move on. So the next one will come up. It gets to, and here it is. So in this case, it's a single person. It's one of our staff members, and he filled it out. He's got his address in here. He's got everything. Oh, I apologize. He's got everything in here. Only the start items is what's required. Easy. Add passenger to reservation and move. Number 2. So single. Here's the price of the single occupancy for this particular trip. Any special requests? If this gentleman's a vegan. So there it is. Special requests and done. Save. Next. Now we're into gateway. You don't have to do anything for this gateway section because it will say here air is from New York, not from San Francisco. It's a sample. So air from New York. If you're going from a different destination, if Great Aunt Maud is coming and she goes from Seattle, she's then going to click on this box right here. And it's going to say, no, I would like to fly out of Seattle. Okay. And then save and move on. Optional tours. Again, these are different optional tours, but it'll have Cinque Terre and it will have the Rome extension. Do we want it? Do we want them? Save, move on. Then we've got optional travel insurance. The computer has now calculated how much the insurance is for standard premium and cancel for any reason insurance. You cannot book at this section for insurance. At the end of number 6, you'll be, and I'll show you what happens. You will then be able to book directly with the insurance company, Generali CSA. So save and move on. If everything's correct, save and move on. Here's a sample of the booking. I've got the early bird discount. Here's the price. And now I can pay. Cancel policy is right here. And I apologize, the arrow is out, but the arrow should be here. You can pay by PayPal. You can pay by credit card and such. Click on one of these buttons. You can put all your information, your credit card details in there. Save and done. As soon as you've done that, you'll have a link and it brings you through to the insurance page. It's really easy to fill out. And you are now communicating directly with the insurance company, which is Generali, which is put in your departure date and your return date and the trip cost. Number 5 of the booking engine already told you what the trip cost is. So it's already given you it. It's even told you what the insurance cost will be. You might want to just scribble that down before you do. How many passengers are you covering insurance for? 1, 2, 3, how many? Pull down, and your residents do a pull down there, and that's it. Press get instant quote. It will then bring up all the features of the insurance and such. I've actually cut it into 2 pages. This is all 1 page on the computer screen, but I can't do it for the sake of this webinar. Now, as we go through this section, everything is there. Now, importantly, here's the box. If you want cancel for any reason, please click that box. Once you've clicked that box, straight underneath of it, it will pull up a box that says, when did you make your initial reservation? Don't forget, it cannot be more than 24 hours after your initial reservation. Okay. Now, once you've done that, it brings you into step 3, and it's all your information. You only have to put in the required starred items. You don't need a member ID. Don't worry about that. Put in the starred items of this section. You don't have to put beneficiary information in it. It's not starred, but travel agency code automatically populates. You don't need an ID. You don't need a travel agent email. Now, here we've got a section, primary destination. Please click in here. We're going to Italy. It's a pull down. Italy is what they're looking for. It's going to ask for the primary airline. The airlines don't know where they're flying tomorrow, never mind next by this coming November. So as you look down the pull down, you'll find undecided. Please click that undecided. And then there's a submit underneath, and level 4, you got to number 4, and that's paying of the insurance. So we certainly hope you'll join us on a terrific trip to Tuscany in 2022. And now I'm going to open up to questions. I'm going to start with the ones online. I must leave. Okay, thank you, Peggy. You must leave early, but it's in the recording. But I wonder if the trip can be extended in Rome. Have a word with Rachel. Tell us what you need. We cannot make your hotel reservations outside Rome, but we can delay your trip back home. Obviously, you will forego the transportation to Reading. Is there a Rome extension? Yes, there is. What day is Cinque Terre? I'll go back to that. I want to say it's day 5. There's a possibility it can change, but it should be around about day 5. What airline will we travel on? Great question. As I mentioned a moment ago, the airlines don't know where they're flying tomorrow, never mind in November. But to go out of New York, there's a lot of different airlines that go into this region. It could be Alitalia, it could be Delta, it could be United, Lufthansa, Delta, Air France, on one of those. For those people who have traveled with us before, we give you your airline schedules about 45 days, or they're available 45 days before, when they can't change. The same with the hotel names too. What's the name of the hotel on the tour? Okay, as I mentioned at the beginning, we historically use the Principe, the Tamarici Principe on this tour. It's a family-run hotel close to the main square itself. We've used it for years and years, and it works really, really well. It's subject to change, but it is one of our favorite hotels in this area. Now, are we leaving out of JFK? The air is still being negotiated. We have a couple of different schedules blocked. It will either be out of JFK or Newark, depending on the airline that we are flying out with. If we take the Rome extension, is the bus still heading to Reading on the return on the way home? As long as we get 20 people going in that direction, we'll work out that yes, we will provide the bus for the main program and the extension program back to Reading. Is there an option to upgrade seating? My husband is 6'4". Yes, there is an option to upgrade seating. Airlines historically make 80% of their profit on 10% of their seats. The depends on the airline we're using on this one. It can be between $3,000 and $4,000 additional for business class first on this schedule. Is there enough time for Cinque Terre free time to enjoy a meal? Yes, there is. It's a difficult question for me to answer, as free time is what enough free time for one person may not be enough for another, or it might be too much for somebody else. But yes, we've been operating this tour for 25 years, and historically for the general population, there's enough free time there. How long is the driving between the tours, between the cities on the tours? We are not in a destination with a lot of driving time. The longest day on this particular program will be the San Gimignano day, but that will be approximately between an 8 and a 9 a.m. start, 3 to 4 p.m. back, with touring and free time and such things as that. Will we need COVID testing if needed, will COVID testing be arranged for us in Italy? Yes. So in actual fact, if rules and regulations stay exactly the same thing, which I fear that they will not, we will arrange on the day before you depart, whether it's in Rome or Montecatini, we will arrange for testing on your behalf. Either we'll all go to a medical facility, or a medical facility will come to us. We'll arrange for it. It is your responsibility as the traveler to pay for it. But yes, that is correct. We will do it. The British government yesterday, encouraging news, they dropped all COVID rules and regulations. And I think, fingers crossed, we're getting to the end of this. Is this off season? Will things be shutting down or not open? We are traveling. We're first of all staying in a living, working Italian town. Everything will be open. The sights and sounds that we're going to, everything will be open. So no, everything will be open for business. Do you anticipate fuel surcharges? I have no idea on fuel surcharges. I've been working in the travel business for the last 35 years. Only once have we ever had that. We do our best to mitigate it whenever humanly possible, but I cannot answer that question. Currently, is there testing for COVID required to travel to Italy? Currently, there is, yes. You must be fully vaccinated to travel to Italy right now. That means that it is a full regimen of 2 vaccines, 2 shots of Pfizer or Moderna, or 1 shot of Johnson & Johnson. Again, we'll have to see how that comes along if things change. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that things do change. That's one of the reasons why we have brought out, however, the 131 days money back guarantee, just in case. You can put an X on the calendar, you can reserve, and you can see how things go along. That's why we strongly encourage cancel for any reason, because again, it's above my pay grade, it's above your pay grade on what happens, but you can protect yourself. We can assist with that by those particular features. Does standard insurance cover COVID? Okay, so if you test positive before you leave on the trip, it's a medical event and it will cover your trip. So yes, if you catch COVID on the trip, it's a medical event. It covers that on the trip. Yes. Do you typically book non-stop flights, or will there be a stop? We do our utmost to book non-stop flights, but again, I come back to the same conversation. The airlines don't know where they're flying tomorrow. But by flying out of New York, there's more non-stops. Worst case scenario, it'll be 1 stop in Europe, but we will do our utmost to get a non-stop out there. But as we are going to Florence, and I apologize, I'm thinking through this now. There are no non-stop flights into Florence or Pisa from the United States. So we will either have to go through a European city to get into those. So I do apologize. I've corrected myself on that. What's the walking level of this trip? We keep coming with these questions, and please keep coming with them. The walking level is out of a 5. This is a 3. So what does that mean? A 3 means that there's cobblestones, there's some steps, there's on and off of motor coaches, there's some walking tours. As long as you can handle that, it's a medium tour for us. We cater to the mature American traveler. So that level is based on a mature American traveler's level. So again, as long as you can you can walk, get on and off of buses, you can handle a couple of steps, then it shouldn't be an issue at all on this. Now, if anybody's interested, on our website, aventureworld.com, scroll right down at the bottom, you'll get down to terms and conditions, and you will see the explanation of what a 3 fully is. Now, there's one last one. What time we get to Rome if we decide to do the extension? You'll be arriving into Rome just round about lunchtime on day 9. I don't see any other questions. We know you've increased in size, so I'm going to see if I can. Anybody wishes to, you can unmute yourself now and ask a question if you'd like.
Ian, this is Rachel. If you had to choose, what is your favorite Italian wine?
I'm going to be very, very frank. I don't like Italian wine.
What?
I don't like Italian beer either. So I'm particular on those. Now, I love the balsamic olive oil, vinegar, but you know, the Italian wine for my palate. I like them a little richer. I'm more of a Cabernet, a Melback person. So, which you can get. It's not just Chianti. They have all sorts of different wines over there, but I don't specifically have one particular. Any other questions? Anybody wants to unmute? No? At that, Rachel, do you think there's anything? Can you unmute everybody? Because I can't. But I don't know if anybody's got any other questions. If not, we're all set to go.
Excuse me, I did come up with one question. It says, I think 7 breakfasts and 3 dinners. So I'm assuming the breakfasts are all at the hotel, but what about the dinners?
Yes, dinners. So breakfast, you're correct. They are at the hotel. Hot and cold foods, fresh fruits, cereals, toast, spreads, and all that stuff. Tea, coffee, fruit juices, and so on. The hotel, all the dinners except one. We have dinner in a farmhouse, which is a great event outside the hotel. The rest are in the hotel itself.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else, or forever hold your peace? No?
No, that's what it seems like, Ian. I am so excited. Oh, do we maybe have a question?
Yeah, one last thing. How many people fill the tour?
Great question. That's it. So the tour, if I may redirect and clarify the question, it's more so of how many people on a bus. There may be more than one bus on the program. So the bus itself holds between 50 and 55 people. We historically put somewhere around about 40 people per bus on 40 passengers per bus, per tour director, per driver on a program. But there may be multiple buses, multiple drivers, and obviously multiple tour directors.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
I have one question.
Yes.
This is Anne. Do you
Hello, Anne.
suggest taking Italian money, lira, I believe, or U.S. money prior to the trip, getting it prior to the trip?
Yes. So in actual fact, I remember lira. Lira used to have zeros and zeros and zeros. It's no longer the lira. it's the euro. They're on the euro. So if you wish to, if you are one of those people that feel totally naked arriving to a foreign country without currency, grab some from your local bank or from somewhere around the Pennsylvania area, and grab $100 worth before you leave, a person. ATMs, there's a couple of ATMs close to the hotel. You can gain ATMs everywhere in Italy. Credit cards are accepted everywhere. Some places might take a US cash, but it's best to have euros. Now, importantly, we will have a pre-departure meeting before we depart, and things like that will address credit cards, rates of exchange, cell phones, all that type of stuff in the pre-departure meeting. But please feel free to ask me now.
We always have an amazing pre-departure meeting. We go over the entire trip again, over some culturally perfect drinks and foods. So it was very fun the last time. I can't wait to do it again.
Yes. Yes. Any other questions? No? Thank you very much. I certainly hope you'll join us, sign up, join the chamber. It's a great trip. And we'll look forward to assisting you along the way.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Ian. And
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you everyone for
you.
joining. We'll be sharing this recording as well. So if you think of any questions in the meantime, after hearing all of this, please just shoot them over to me and we'll get them answered for you. Look forward to having you all on the trip.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.